This week on Spectrum News, see how enrollment is affecting the future.
We'll take a look at some Wildcat athletics.
And see behind the counter at a new competition on campus.
It's all just ahead on Spectrum News.
Good evening and welcome to Spectrum News at 7. I'm Brian Cocallas.
And I'm Haley Page. Tonight we'll have top stories from this week at Indiana Wesleyan University. For many years, IWU saw rapid growth in student enrollment, but the past 5 years have been different. Reporter Amanda Johnson took a look at the numbers to see how it's affecting campus.
New students visit IWU every day, rain or shine, all looking for different things. They walk the campus and many end up living and studying here. These new buildings went up with plans to fill the rooms, but enrollment growth on campus isn't quite as rapid as years past. For over 20 years, IWU saw huge growth. However, in the last 5, enrollment has remained constant. This semester, enrollment dropped 13 students. But with a campus this size, the financial offices aren't too concerned.
All of our indicators of strength and enrollment, like campus visits, applications, inquiries, are all growing.
The dip in enrollment may not be drastic, but the lack of growth is enough to get everyone's attention.
There's pressure on not just the admissions office, but the entire university. The admissions office plays a big part in recruitment.
Few adjustments are being made to the budget yet, and Dr. Kilty says the university is unwilling to make cuts that affect academic quality.
Sometimes they're little things, sometimes they're big things. We're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars in the budget by going paperless.
It isn't a growing year, but potential students keep coming, and some may return as full-time students next year. For Spectrum News, I'm Amanda Johnson.
IWU prides itself on providing a safe environment, but recent campus thefts have threatened that safety. Public places seem comfortable for most IWU students, but that laid-back atmosphere has turned them on targets for thefts. 3 active theft cases have been reported by campus police this semester. Campus coordinator Mario Rangel has steps that can be taken to prevent theft.
Never, ever, ever walk away from your stuff, because I'm a firm believer that, well, I know from facts that if people was not to walk away from their stuff, there wouldn't have been one theft. So, and that's the greatest way to prevent it.
Wallets and other personal belongings such as book bags and cell phones are most commonly stolen items. Students can look up tips and more information on IWU Campus Police Facebook page.
Students at IWU make cards for those who serve in the military to show their appreciation for the troops. Reporter Eli Whaley saw how some students give back.
At the Jones Banquet Room, all different kinds of cards were made. Thanksgiving allowed for IWU students to come and show their appreciation for those serving in the military by making their own cards. One of the students involved, Josh Rumpel, wants to relay that message.
To raise awareness that the military is not thanked as much as they should. We're just trying to do our part in thanking them and giving them what they deserve.
Making cards, however, wasn't just for the servicemen and women. It was also for the students. Making the cards helped students and leaders of the event, like Becca Coffey, to be reminded of the importance of serving.
Just lessons about serving others and being able to be bold and express gratitude where gratitude is due.
Though the event wasn't huge in numbers, the main focus was for students to express gratitude to as many military members as they could. No matter how small the number of cards, the students can know that those cards made will positively influence the soldiers. For Spectrum News, Eli Whaley.
Yeah, it's really great to hear that people are doing this. When my brother was overseas, I feel like we never got enough mail to him.
Yeah, it's always great when people, help the troops out and send mail and things like that. When we come back, we'll hear about an author who visited campus this weekend.
And see how hard IWU's maintenance team works to keep our campus clean. Welcome back to Spectrum News. We still have a lot to talk about tonight.
Do you remember the book you had to read when you were an incoming freshman?
Yeah, I think our class read Shane Claiborne's book.
Each year, the UNV 180 class has summer reading for incoming freshmen. Dr. Pete Ward, the author of God's Behaving Badly, came in from London this weekend to talk to some students. Students filed into the Globe Theater to participate in a talkback session with Dr. Pete Ward. Students were encouraged to ask questions and listen as Ward spoke about his book. God's Behaving Badly talks about the celebrity side of culture and how people have become idols in our lives. Ward was blessed with the opportunity and didn't expect the book to end up here.
Truth is, it's come as rather a surprise to me that students at Indiana Wesleyan are reading the book. And because I had in mind kind of academics or people researching in this area.
Dr. Brad Garner, UNV 180 coordinator, says the book was the closest to the course topic, and that's why it was chosen.
The maintenance staff may be overlooked at times, but their work ethic is one quality that keeps IWU looking great. Reporter Matt Littman found out what happens after hours.
Overnight, while the students are sleeping, the maintenance staff is hard at work. Yet they are some of the most overlooked employees on this campus. The maintenance staff puts a lot of effort into making the campus of IWU look great. Although the jobs may seem basic, the jobs require time and patience.
And it's about 2 hours of sweeping. And then so you gotta do that, and you have to get the trash out of the classrooms, and anything else needs to be cleaned up while you're doing all that stuff. And it can get pretty rough, but you just gotta do it, you know.
The maintenance workers keep the campus buildings clean and organized, but would also appreciate the students to lend a helping hand.
One day in inaugural, we picked up 57 glasses sweeping. That's a lot of glasses. It'd be nice if they pick up their glass and threw it in the trash. That'd help tremendously.
For Spectrum News, I'm Matt Littman.
Nearly 400 students were at Indiana Wesleyan this weekend for the National Association of Teachers of Singing competition. Competitors waited around campus to perform for judges' panel. They were in a performing arts center, the banquet halls, and even around the Globe Theater. IWU participants congratulated their peer junior church music major, Zach Roth, who says he wasn't expecting to place for a second year in a row.
We did. I wasn't expecting the same thing to happen this year, just, you know, because greater competition and more training. A lot of things can happen in a year, and so it was a surprise.
NATS competition.
Did you see how many people were just around campus, the Student Center, that day?
Yeah, that was crazy. Everyone wanted to see what was going on.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll step into Lucky Arena, wrap up the volleyball regular season play,
and we'll take a look at the results from the Caleb Demick tournament play. Welcome back. It's been another busy week in IWU athletics. Sports producer Tim Decker is here to give us an update on all things Wildcat sports.
Thanks, Brian. Some fans were wondering if the Indiana Wesleyan men's basketball team would be as good as the #2 preseason ranking it received. After this past weekend's Caleb Demick Classic, the Wildcats proved they're for real. IWU defeated Grace Bible College on Friday 71-68. Sophomore guard Jordan Widener led the Wildcats with 22 points. The mega match, however, was set for Saturday afternoon as the Caleb Demick Classic ended with a thriller. The #2 Wildcats hosted the #4 Bellevue Bruins. Let's take a look at the highlights. We're going to start this one late in the second half. The Wildcats tied up when junior guard Aaron Martin hits a long two to put the Wildcats up 2 with 24 seconds to go. The Bruins did respond, though. James Parrott makes a ridiculous tip-in pass right as the time expires. See it here on the replay in the basket before the red light comes on. IWU dominated overtime, though, including junior forward Patrick Hopkins' layup there from the pass from Jordan Widener. And then after some made free throws by Widener and the other Wildcats, IWU held on to win 100-93 in front of a huge crowd in Lucky Arena. It's what you call a barn burner to start this season. The Wildcats did continue their fast start with a 94-70 victory against Union College yesterday to improve to 3-0 on the year. Basketball isn't the only sport taking over campus. The IWU volleyball team ended Taylor University's 53-match MCC winning streak with a 3-1 win last Friday. Students, fans, and family packed Lucky Arena for one of the most electric atmospheres in recent Wildcat history. The IWU-Taylor rivalry is one that dominates Grant County sports. Reporter Matt Green takes a look at the rivalry from a different angle.
When it comes to IWU versus Taylor, the students and the players aren't the only ones who understand the long-lived Grant County rivalry.
Oh yeah, the rivalry's been really intense. all 4 years that my daughter's played. And her freshman year 4 years ago, we actually beat them in the MCC tournament, and it was kind of bittersweet. And we've had a couple rebuilding years, but we're back this year, and we've been chasing them all season.
I don't think they've won a game a match against them in the last 3 years.
You know, it's intense. It's unlike really any rival that I've been a part of, and there's not animosity, but there's certainly a desire to beat the other one more than anything else.
Parents and faculty of these hard-hitting teams seem to know what it will take to win.
So if we don't let them get in our head, we will beat them. Statistically, we're a stronger team. We have better statistics overall as a team than Taylor does. And so it'll be a mental game tonight, and if we don't let them get in our head, we'll take them.
Well, I'm hoping it's Kelsey Pritchard. She's a senior, over 2,000 kills, and just a tremendous player. And she's got the experience, has played in a lot of big matches, national tournament.
Any final words before the big match?
And I know that we should be able to beat them tonight.
They're confident in being able to take Taylor down to the wire, and anything can happen when you get in that 5th set.
Taylor has confidence. They think they're all that. Statistic by statistic in every field, we've got them. All we got to do is that head game and beat them with our heads.
For Spectrum News, I'm Matt Green.
This is one rivalry that will continue for many generations to come. Truly a great story. That does it for sports. Brian, back to you.
Thanks, Tim, for that update. Have you ever been to a matchup this year?
I haven't been to volleyball, but I went to a basketball game yesterday, and it was great. The guys were on fire.
Yeah, they're doing really well. Well, when we come back, we'll taste competition at Macon Coffee.
And see behind the scenes of an upcoming play. Back to Spectrum News. Have you noticed how cold it's gotten the last couple days?
Yeah, and you know what I do when it starts getting cold out is I drink a lot of hot chocolate.
Yeah, I drink way more coffee. Speaking of coffee, the first annual Barista Challenge was last Friday in Macon Coffee Company. Workers geared up to impress some pretty high officials.
4 contestants and a whole lot of coffee. The challenge, to make 3 drinks in 10 minutes. Each barista brought a little of their own personality and flair to their presentations Friday at the first annual Macon Barista Challenge.
I'm hoping to use this to create a beverage that has a slightly more robust flavor.
Well, let's count how many times it takes me to make the cappuccino correctly. I've got 1. Let's see if I have to do 2. Hopefully not 3.
Judges President Henry Smith and Dr. Phil Millage were having a hard time focusing after about 12 cups of coffee.
How do you feel about bald men?
The question was, how do I feel about bald men? And I feel really good about that. There's this glare coming from my left.
The judges were able to refocus by the end of the competition and named Zach Augment winner of the 2011 Barista Challenge.
I'm looking at kind of creating ways to become better at this craft and to create new systems that will help me and learn new skills just to constantly be able to improve.
The first annual Macon Barista Challenge was a hit and will surely be back again next fall.
Yeah, there's a reason they call caffeine the Wesleyan drug, right?
That's right.
It seemed like a start of a great tradition that will hopefully continue for years to come.
The importance of being earnest. The importance of being earnest is a set in 1985 London. 2 men find themselves engaged in 1 woman and mayhem erupts. This play is full of clever humor and witty and sure to make the audience leave pleasantly satisfied. Tickets are $6 and the students are $10 for general admission. The show runs November 10th through the 12th and November 17th through the 19th at the Black Box Theater. Cold weather and brisky conditions are the ideal forecast for runners. This past Saturday brought weather and Marion brought the runners. The 5K race for recovery was held by Grace House at Matter Park. Competitors of all ages ran the race, but it was all for the benefit. Ernest Anderson believes Grace House is a positive influence for the Marion residents.
Support is needed. You know, I see lives are being changed. You know, a lot of the guys, not everyone that comes there makes it through, but everyone that comes there does leave with something.
Bring it out.
Every runner finished the race from all ages 5 and up. The race was fun and enjoyable, but the meaning behind the race was so much more. There will be another race next spring.
That concludes our show for tonight. For all of us at Spectrum News, I'm Haley Page.
And I'm Brian Cocallas. Good night, everyone.